Barack Obama, his inauguration this morning.
Nelson Aspen's with us now with all the celebrity news from today's historic event. Nelson, is it bigger, brighter and better than even you could have imagined?
Oh, it's bigger than the Oscars. Yeah, Senator John McCain ruffled a lot of feathers when he called Barack Obama the biggest celebrity in the world. But today, no one can argue that he was right. Barack Obama is indeed today the biggest celebrity in the world. And even out there on the mall, among the 2 million gatherers, we had Muhammad Ali, we had Steven Spielberg. Ben Affleck supposedly said he was going to camp out and get a tent and a heater if that was what was required for him to be there. I guess he's left Jennifer at home with the 2 little babies. But regardless, it was a monumental occasion, and it's only going to get bigger as the night goes on and the 10 different gala balls get underway. Last night, of course, there was the eve of festivities, and we heard from Aretha Franklin. She was sounding great, and today she performed all dressed up like a giant Christmas package. She performed My Country 'Tis of Thee. Not a single note was off. She was absolutely perfect and phenomenal. She was followed in quick succession by Itzhak Perlman and Yo-Yo Ma doing a stringed version of a John Williams piece. It was just beautiful, and now we can look forward to the real celebrity onslaught tonight at all the balls. It was really pretty special.
Nelson, you've probably got tickets to the hottest event in town. What is it, and are you going?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of events here. I'm actually going to be blogging tonight, so people can jump online and dish all the fashion as we see it around town. But yeah, I've got all my spies in place, so we'll make sure we get all that news to you. It is interesting. We talked about this during the commercial break. Even more so than on the ground, say, here in Hollywood, is the global excitement over this. I've already reported this morning for Ireland. Next, I'll be going on to Australia. You know, I'm going around the world. It is the global aspect and enthusiasm and excitement over this occasion that's really most remarkable.
Okay, Nelson, you enjoy. We have to leave you there. We'll see you tomorrow for the after party.
Get back to your blogging.
Have a great day.
See ya.
Thanks.
See ya.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Well, this is Sunrise. It's 8:01. I am Carly Flynn.
And I'm Oliver Driver. Let's have a quick look at what's up ahead in the next hour.
Well, hundreds of thousands of people have crowded into Washington to witness Barack Obama being sworn in as the 44th President of the United States.
We're continuing our extensive coverage with highlights from this morning's historic ceremony.
We have a panel of US analysts with us in the studio, picking over the main events, of which there have been so many this morning.
There has. Josh is at the American Embassy stealing all the food he can grab, and we'll have live coverage of the parade down Pennsylvania Avenue, which is starting at 8:30 our time.
Sunrise, brought to you by Sanitarium. The great value breakfast, no matter what state the economy's in.
But first, we have all the news of the day with the lovely Sasha, and I'm going to eat a cupcake while you tell us about bad peanuts.
They're pretty good. I've already tried one.
Oh, there you go, eh?
Thanks, Holly.
I like them.
Good morning. The new US President Barack Obama is attending a luncheon as part of his presidential inauguration. Earlier, he was sworn in as the 44th president.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully,
that I will execute
the office of President of the
the office
United
of President of the
States,
United States faithfully,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Over 1 million people gathered in Washington, D.C. enduring freezing temperatures to witness the historic event. The United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has demanded an Israeli investigation into strikes on United Nations facilities in Gaza. He made the call during a visit to the Gaza Strip to inspect the devastation caused by the 3-week-long onslaught. The UN's compound warehouse, which stored supplies for the UN Works and Relief Agency, was seriously damaged by Israeli fire last week, destroying desperately needed humanitarian supplies for Gazans. 3 types of peanut bars sold in New Zealand have been recalled following a salmonella outbreak in the United States that's killed at least 6 people. Abbott Nutrition has recalled Zone Perfect chocolate bars, peanut butter bars and peanut toffee bars, and Nutripal's peanut butter chocolate bars. The company says it's a voluntary recall and no salmonella cases have been linked to its bars. China has stepped up its precautions against bird flu after the 3rd fatality from the human bird flu virus this month. There are fears the virus could spread more quickly in cold weather and as families gather for Lunar New Year feasts. Around 188 million people travel between cities and rural hometowns for Lunar New Year, which begins next week. A resident bronze whaler shark stalking Adelaide beaches is back on his beat, setting off shark alarms and scaring swimmers. But locals are getting used to seeing the shark and are wondering just how dangerous he really is. Mary Nichol reports.
Fishermen at the end of the jetty were pretty laid back about their latest sighting.
Hard to tell the size and that, but yeah, I don't know. It's too much of a drama.
They're not exactly fleeing the water in blind terror down at Henley Beach. Mind you, it might be because none of them actually knew the shark had been spotted.
Really? But they didn't let any sirens off or anything.
You didn't know?
No.
Not too far, then you're alright. But yeah, if you go too deep, yeah, just better watch out.
But scientists say bronze whalers aren't as dangerous as people think.
Because they are a large animal, there is the perception that they may be dangerous. But there are a few records that I can recall where bronze whaler has been implicated in a fatal attack.
Inside the bronzie's mouth, teeth not much bigger than ours, not designed to slash and chop and gulp chunks of meat like the white pointers, shaped more to grab and hold slippery prey. They're fish eaters.
They eat things like Australian salmon and squid and cuttlefish.
But a shark's a shark, bronzy or not, and most people are smart enough not to take chances.
Maybe I won't go swimming today.
Most people, not teenage boys.
And US visitors in London have been given free entry to the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum so they can meet their new president, Barack Obama. The Obama model is shown in an informal and relaxed pose, smiling with arms casually folded in the middle of a reproduction of the White House Oval Office. Scores of Americans took up the museum's offer, arriving early to rub shoulders with the president-to-be. And that is news.
Halfway round Madame Tussauds, there's a little old lady asleep on a bench. And she's made of... I thought she was real. She's made of wax. Best thing about it, that and the Chamber of Horrors.
You're down in... Chamber of Horrors is awful.
Yeah.
It's great.
I hated it.
Did you?
I was absolutely scared.
In the Weta Workshop.
Yeah. Were you not?
Well, yeah, but I think that was the point. It was fun.
Couldn't wait to get out of there.
In Weta Workshop?
In Weta Workshop down in Wellington with Lord of the Rings and that sort of stuff, there is a life-size Sam Neill dead from that movie he made with Joel Tobick and somebody else where they were all mental on an island. But he's just lying there and it's absolutely real and it's full ski. Touch it, it feels like a person, it looks like a person, and as you're wandering around, you just go, wandering around, da-da-da-da-da-da, there's Sam Neill dead, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's quite spooky. I wanted to borrow it. Just put it here.
Why did you want to borrow it?
Just to have it here.
So you could drive
Sam
around.
Neill.
Another prop.
Yeah, me and Sam Neill.
Go, Rod.
Go sport.
Good morning. Top seed Rafael Nadal has breezed through his first round match at the Australian Open in straight sets. The Spaniard easily accounted for Belgian Christoph Rocker's 6-love, 6-2, 6-2.
Oh, that is as hard as you can hit a tennis ball.
Local hope Leighton Hewitt was bundled out by Spaniard Fernando Gonzalez in a 3-hour epic.
Oh, that's outstanding. Gonzalez, he's just white-hot at the moment.
Hewitt failed to come on strong enough, going down 6-3 in the final set. Kiwi #1 Marina Rakovic plays her second round match this afternoon. That's against Czech Lucy Savarova. Now, Lance Armstrong has eased back into the saddle, finishing well down in the first stage of the Tour Down Under. The 7-time Tour de France winner settled into the peloton for the 140-kilometre ride through Adelaide's suburbs, coming home in 120th.
It's good to get started. You know, again, you have what I think is going to be fast racing, even if there's moments where you can chill out and talk to your buddies a little bit.
German Andre Greipel took the stage win with Greg Henderson, the best of the Kiwis, in 51st. And A-League newcomers, the North Queensland Fury, are reported to be spending up large in a bid to secure the talents of former Liverpool great Robbie Fowler. Fowler met with club officials in Townsville. If successful, the deal will be one of the biggest signings in the history of the league. The 33-year-old former England international was released from Kiwi Ryan Nelson's Blackburn Rovers after just 3 appearances and will be gunning for more opportunities to score down under. Now, the A1GP World Cup of Motorsport revs up in Taupo this weekend, and you've still just about got time to win yourself the chance to see Black Beauty in action. Sunrise is giving you the chance to win 2 grandstand tickets for 3 days of relentless racing, a guided tour of Team New Zealand's garage, plus 3 nights accommodation, including breakfast at the luxurious Lakeland Resort. Now, about a bit of bling-bling, official A1GP timekeepers TW Steel have a pair of watches valued at over $2,500 for you and your partner. For a chance to win, check out the Sunrise website for entry details. We'll announce the winner just after 8:30. Do you want to buy a watch?
Haven't already sold it 3 times. That big
Not that I've worn it, that's what you're going to say. Honestly, it doesn't smell.
Radio, we've got Josh at the American Embassy in our capital.
But he doesn't have cupcakes.
He doesn't have cupcakes. Apparently he has fruit skewers. How are they?
They were fantastic. I've already had 3, but look, we've got,
Can you steal
we've got
that?
a cardboard cutout of... We're trying to do that. I can come back to you. I'll put in a bid if you like.
Smuggle
but
it.
this is the closest we're going to get to Obama this morning.
That's great.
I'm not sure if it's life size. I'm almost tall enough to be a leader. What do you reckon?
You are a leader, Josh. You lead all of us.
A leader in weather. Go for it, Josh.
Our weather world. Give us the weather speech to match Obama's inauguration speech.
Just perhaps not so long.
Oh no, I'm not that good of a speech right now.
Just start your weather report with my fellow citizens.
Okay, here we go. My fellow citizens, here's today's forecast. A ridge of high pressure develops over the North Island while a frontal system scoots across the Southern Ocean. A northwest flow strengthens over the lower South Island. So, high cloud and evening rain is on the way to the far south. Rain becomes heavier about Fiordland with drizzle stretching up the west coast. It's mainly fine for the rest of the island. Plenty of sun in the east and north. It's a lovely day across the North Island too. Any remaining showers on the upper east coast clear early. Some cloud and fog also clears from the west. Fine with afternoon sea breezes from the Bay of Plenty to Northland. Well, just incidentally, if you were in Washington to see the inauguration live, then you would have had to feel the cold. It was around about -5 throughout the whole ceremony. But with me now is Cardi Warner. Now, she knows the Obama family, and I have to ask you what the connection is.
I was a graduate student with his mother, Ann Sotoro, in the East West Center University of Hawaii in the 70s, and then worked in Indonesia with her.
Yeah, and what was she like as a person? She must have been an amazing person to produce a president.
She was an amazing person. She was tremendously committed to rural development. She was an anthropologist. She was gifted linguistically. She spoke fluent Indonesian, Javanese, and was a woman who felt extremely comfortable with herself.
Because she's such a worldly person, her background, do you reckon that she passed that on to Obama, and gave him the foundations for who he is today?
I think that she was a globalist in that she really thought internationally. She herself, her first husband was Obama's father, who was a Kenyan. Her second husband was an Indonesian. She was very interested in the world and what was happening, and I think that definitely she passed on to him.
Do you have any memories of him as a youngster?
Just as those when you have friends of yours, and then you see their children, and he was sort of that peripheral teenager that was there, that she was worried about whether he did his homework or not, so that thing.
Do you think this is something for the world just as much as it is for the U.S.?
Well, I think that it's very important for the world. For the U.S., I think it's of such significance, and I think that's something that Americans should feel very proud because they've made really a commitment to change, just as he did, and the Yes We Can. Really, that was his mantra during it, really was through the voting that occurred in the election, a feeling that yes, he could, that he himself can do this.
And you made a quick speech yourself. Can you just say what it means to you personally as an American?
Well, you know, as an American, and I think I mentioned earlier, I was raised in Virginia, which is part of the South, and where I grew up, there were segregated schools. That there was no thought that even the universities were segregated. And to then see in my time, to see where it goes from segregation to where you have people such as Obama who could go to the best schools on merit and then do such extraordinary work in his own career and then become president. It's such a feeling of pride in the country as well as in Obama.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for talking to us. And as I said before as well, just being here at the embassy in Wellington, it just does bring in those world factors as well as the US, sharing it with all these American citizens down here as well as people from right around the world. So it has been quite an amazing time.
Thanks, Josh. We'll see you in half an hour. See you then.
And make sure you get that life-size cardboard cutout of Obama. Radio, Michael is now back with yours and our ASB Business Update.
And not a lot positive to report from Wall Street. They're being very self-centered. They're just focusing on banks and things like that instead of getting excited.
All you ever talk about is money in markets.
Those suits, eh?
I know. Anyway, let's have a look at the figures, because they're not great. Minus 201 for the Dow. So that's around 2.5%. The Nasdaq is down around 4%, 62.4 there, and it is mainly because the bank stocks are continuing to slump. Bank of America is down about 19%, and another big financial institution, State Street, is announcing all sorts of potential losses, and its share price has dropped about 50%. So it's not a great scene for President Obama to take over as the new leader. We have a look at the European markets now, and they were all weaker as well. London index was down 17. And the Kiwi dollar now, it is been trading lower against the US. The US dollar has been a little firmer this morning, but it's really our inflation figure, which was very modest yesterday. In fact, it was a negative figure for the December quarter, that has caused a bit of a sell-off in the New Zealand dollar. So we're at 52.23 US cents and just over 80 Australian cents. And the oil price is a little firmer. As you may have noticed, those petrol companies have snuck up the price of petrol yet again. It's been up about 15 cents,
15 cents in a week, yeah.
Which is amazing. Now, partly that is because the New Zealand dollar is down, and the oil price has edged up a bit. But
I'm still outraged.
I'm outraged as well. I think we're all.
I was getting used to $1.32.
Yeah. Let's have a look there. Brent is at 43. It's down, actually. West Texas is up to 40.79. Gold up 15. Yeah, so it's a bit of a worry, that.
That's why Jack and I carpool.
He would have jogged otherwise, would he?
Well, he would have taken his own car, which would have been pointless and ridiculous because we live in exactly the same place and we work in the same places as well.
So it makes sense to carpool.
Well, it does. It does. I encourage other people to carpool too, especially if one of you is short and lacks the brain capacity to actually drive a car.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. We're back in Washington to catch the inauguration parade, which starts at 8:30.
But next, did his speech make the cut? We talked to a panel of experts about some of the greatest presidential speeches in history.
None of them by Bush.
They understood that our power grows through its...
Tonight on Campbell Live, it's Inauguration Day. We're looking at the inauguration, obviously, but we're also looking at the civil rights movement on what is surely one of the most significant days in African American history. Do join us tonight at 7.